Welcome back to The Crispy Cast. I'm Ash.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Nick.
And we are PHS the Talon.
Prosper, Texas.
Yeah! Nailed it! The Queen Mary docked in Long Beach, California is a huge part of the United States history, more specifically, paranormal history. Though many refute the existence of the supernatural, the past history of the Queen Mary includes the deaths of almost 300, and even more visitors who experience eerie circumstances that puzzle even the most skeptical skeptics. Here on the Crispy Cast, we have two guest speakers, Tim Dennis and Aaron Saggers, who have taken the time out of their day to give us their take on their own experiences on the Queen Mary that further their belief in the supernatural.
Our first guest is Tim Dennis, who visited the Queen Mary for his paranormal podcast with the guys from the Ghost Hunters TV show.
One night, as I'm about to go to bed, I was sharing a room with my partner on the podcast, and 3:30, almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and you get kind of punchy and you're joking around, and finally he's like, would you just turn over and go to bed already? So as I'm laughing hysterically and I'm looking up at the ceiling, from the right side of my vision, I see what looks like this red orb floating, from the corner of the room.
Okay, and you didn't notice it?
No, I didn't notice it at first, but I see it coming towards me. So I grab my glasses and I throw them on. And I yell at my buddy and my partner, Dave. I said, D, turn over, look at this. And he goes, would you just go to bed already? I'm like, no, dude, you got to see this. And this red orb is starting to float right above my bed. And I'm like, dude, you get up. You got to see this. But he goes, would you shut up and just go to sleep already? And this thing just kind of hovers for a second and then, boom, takes off and goes to the wall.
And he totally just thinks you're in hysterics?
He just thought I was like so hysterical from laughing. And I'm like, you just totally missed it. It was this red orb. It was floating on the ceiling. He goes, whatever, just go to sleep.
You're telling me he didn't see it at all?
He totally didn't turn over to acknowledge me or anything. But in this case, this orb was probably, if you take your thumb and forefinger and you form a circle with it, it was probably
like the size of a golf ball?
Yeah, like the size of a golf ball. Yeah.
Does your buddy still not believe you to this day that you saw that?
No, he believes me now that I saw it, but I rarely have paranormal experiences, so that was one of the few that I've had.
And because it wasn't on a video or a photo, you know that it was an actual orb and not just some piece of dust or a bug.
Right.
Our second guest is Aaron Saggers, who visited the Queen Mary as a journalist for the show Paranormal Caught on Camera.
I didn't get in until quite late at the Queen Mary, so it was about, I think 2 a.m., which is 5 a.m. my time. And at that point, all I wanted to do was pass out. So I go to my stateroom, and as soon as I crawl into bed and my eyes start to close, right next to me on the bed, I feel the sheets lift and then a weight settle in right next to me. You could sense like a person.
The ghost just got in bed with you?
Yeah. It's funny because I didn't know. I didn't know what it was. I was turned over on my side. I feel this thing next to me. So I was like, wow. And then the next thought was, whatever this is, not now. A second passes and then the feeling of the weight sort of dissipated and you felt the top sheet kind of settle down again. Then it was gone. And other weird stuff happened to me while I was there, but that was probably the weirdest. But at least they were respectful enough to leave me alone.
Yeah, the ghost was just offended that you wouldn't cuddle with him.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, maybe if I had gotten in at a proper time, there would have been more ghosty cuddles, spectral spooning, but I was having none of it because I was so exhausted. I think it has a well-deserved reputation for all of the spooky stuff that happens there.
So that's the end of our show tonight. I hope you enjoyed. We had red flying orbs and even ghost cuddles, but it all took place on the Queen Mary, which is a really cool ship, and there are guided tours. I think it's actually under construction right now, but once the tours are open, I do recommend anyone that can goes to the tour. And there's also a Soviet submarine outside. It's really cool. But yeah, this has been PHS the Talon, signing off.